and we're off to the races. Click, click. Cinematic. Guys, this pack behind me, I've got mixed feelings about this kind of direct pay to win, but I have to cover it because objectively, I think this is the best buy we have ever seen in the shop. That might shock some of you hearing me say that. This, of course, all comes with the caveat that you're already a spender, comfortable spending this amount of money. If you're not, obviously it's a terrible deal because it's way more than you'd ever want to spend. However, the bang for the buck is pretty crazy. And as you might expect, I'm going to show you all that math in this video. But basically, you're getting a guaranteed legendary and guaranteed to be a legendary from the best faction in the game for $70. At its face value, you're like $70. That's crazy. But if you break down the number of ancient summons typically this would cost you and typically it would take, it's actually an insane steal. There's a lot to discuss. I want to show you the math first. Then I want to break down the strangeness of the whole thing, because in my head, it's like buying summons is fine because you have a chance, but buying directly isn't fine. But it's all the same thing, right? So that's like a me problem. First, I'll show you the math, and then at the end, you can see we got a ton of W gold here. This is not my account. We're on Bakarju's account, and we will pull it at the end and see if it ended up all being worth it. Sincerely, the bang for your buck on this thing is kind of insane as far as gacha games go, so let's get into it.
Fastidious.
Fastidious.
All right, folks, a bunch of factors to go through. So first thing, we got to get a sense of how much do ancient summons typically cost in this game. The numbers are startling. The pack I wanted to show you is not available in game right now, I think because Bakarju probably bought it, but that best pack of the weekend so far that I've seen is 18 ancients for $70. So we've got our little math section over here where I can do things on the fly. If we do $70 divided by 18, that comes out to just less than $4 a summon. That is not a good deal at all, right? It's $3.89, and that's the very best we're seeing. Even when you hunt for deals, if you go on my website and you use the offer calculator, the best we typically see is $4 a summon, and that's steep as hell, right? So we're getting 18 best case scenario for the same price as this. And we have not yet even mentioned the extra items in this pack, the 3,000 diamonds and the 3 legendary skill crystals. Using the calculator on my website, fastidious.gg, these diamonds and skill crystals respectively are a $30 value and $15 value. Combine that, you get an extra $45 worth of value. As you'll see later on in the video, the ancient summoning crystals needed with the most liberal estimate to guarantee a legendary or non-legendary hero, not even to mention an arbiter, would be 56. That's an extra $224 worth of value. Combine all of that, and you get $269 worth of value from this $70 pack in terms of value given to pay-to-win players. Insane. You want to see some other scary examples? Let's find them pretty quickly. Here's $50 for 8 summons, right? So that's over $5 a summon. Again, I'll do that math really quick. It ain't too fun. Comes out to $6.25. That's freaking insane. This is for the real desperate people out there that just need to rip them. Here's 12 for $70. So that's 2/3 as valuable as the best one I saw with the 18. So if we take that 70, divide by 12, that comes out to $5.83. You can see that popping up. I don't know why it's doing so many decimal points, but you get what's going on here. It's really rough. So let's just call it $4. That seems to be the best you can do if you're patient and you hunt around for it. And we're going to use that as our reference. So $4 for an ancient. Typically, how many ancients does it take you to get something? Well, the rates for non-lords, I've already done the math, it's 1%. So if you just want to know your expected value, typically, how many summons will it take for that to happen once? On average, it will be 100 summons. That's intuitive, right? It's only 1%. We just did 100 divided by 1. It's a little less intuitive, but the math is still really easy if you want to know about lords. The lord rate from ancient summons is 0.8%. So you take 100, you divide by 0.8, and you get 125. So typically every 125 summons, not counting pity, you will get a lord from your ancient summons. And then finally, if we look over here, if we combine those two at 1.8%, you want to know just how often am I getting a legendary, any kind of hero from ancients? You take 100, divide by 1.8, and on average, it's 55 to 56. Let's just round it up to 56 because we can't have partial summons. So typically every 56 summons, you're getting a lord or a non-lord, and that is what's going on here. We'll go more into that in a second. However, one thing that makes this a really spicy opportunity, and let's be perfectly clear right now, if I hadn't been clear yet, it's still a crazy gamble, right? But this is probably your most narrowed gamble you'll have in the game for most players because the pool is so restricted to such high quality things. You can't get in it. You cannot get Lady Alexandra, and obviously you can't get the epic Elysia. Everyone else is available. There are 9 heroes. They're all some degree of good. I'd say definitively Eunomia is the worst, and Praetus and then Ingrid are the best. But it's not like Eunomia is a useless hero. She'd probably be the one big L, and you can see Bakurju already has her, so that really would suck. Everyone else is kind of a win. Even heroes you already have, Awakenings are valuable. This is a really potent faction, as opposed to if you just normally did your Ancient Summons and you could hit anything, right? So you could hit the Chaos units, which many of them are good, but some of them are pretty mid, Cerberus, Kata. Some of them are kind of excellent but niche, like Dasami. Some of them are good but not really that usable anymore, like Luguru. And then some of them are legitimately bad, right? Giselle, wherever she's hiding, that's a bad hero. Terrible legendary. You've got Admiral Claw, bad. Dirtza, niche uses, but so supremely niche that for any normal account, dog water. So because of that, you can see we're avoiding all of that you can normally get from Ancient Summons. You're limiting it to a pool where the worst case scenario is Eunomia, who's not that bad, and the other 8 options are really, really strong for almost every account. There's another thing we're eliminating, and that is the other lords. You can't get the other lords, right? So Leia, she's great. She's out of the question. However, King Hearts and Elder, you don't want to get them from your legendary lord summon. Tordor's great, but Morrigan and Demi, you don't want to hit them. Infernal Blast, Soulcanes is great. He's not Ingrid and Praetus. He is good. And then Twin Fiend, if you already have him, it's super, you don't need him. Arak and Yovar, you get the picture. There's some nice stuff here, but you're eliminating a lot of stuff you might not want. Venoma, gross, right? For anyone that's investing real life dollars into this stuff. So you've narrowed in this really even pool at a crazy price. So let me talk to you about that price right now. Typically, we're saying it takes 56 summons to hit any amount of Lord. So even without taking the bonus of the positively narrowed pool, 56 summons multiplied by the best number we're seeing, which is about $4, is coming out to a pretty darn steep price of $224 on average to hit 1 Lord when you buy Ancients. I don't know if anyone's ever done the math on that themselves, but if you're just not counting anything you've saved, just what you're buying, and of course not taking into account Lord Pity when you get really deep in it, on average, it's over $200 to hit a legendary. You can have super hot streaks, and then you can have super cold streaks where it can take a lot less or a lot more. This eliminates all of that. $70, which is a big number, I'm getting a guarantee one of these 9 for sure. It is locked in. Typically, you'd only be able to buy the 18 summons or the 15 summons or whatever that pack is with $17, maybe even 12 summons if you take that worst deal, maybe even 10 summons if you buy the really bad ones. In this case, basically you're getting 56 Ancients worth of value because you're locking in that guarantee. Even if you control for Lord Pity and when you hit that and it essentially brings your number down, best case, maybe it's 40 Ancient Summons, maybe it's 50. But for most players, you might go a lot longer. There's a lot of RNG. This locks you into buying essentially 56 Ancients for $70. Once you throw in the wrinkle that this is a much higher quality pool than typically would be available from your normal Ancient Summoning, unless I guess you already have all these guys A5, but that's basically no one in the game, it is super powerful. So again, not even counting that, you're spending $70 for 56 summons worth of guarantee. That's $1.25 an Ancient, which to someone like me that doesn't spend money on the game still sounds insane. And that's why I did the caveat. If you're a spender, this is awesome. If you're not, you still shouldn't go spend on it. Unless, I don't know, you're celebrating the New Year's spirit. But I think I proved my point. It's pretty dang spicy. Now, what are your chances to actually hit Praetus or Ingrid or your really desirable stuff? We've seen these faction cards a lot of times in the past. And back in the day, we did have access. We were privy to game file informations. And what we saw was the rate of the Lord was 2/3 that of the non-Lords. Everything else was equalized, though. So one way to express that, we set the Lord weight to 1.0, and then we set the all other hero non-Lord weights, these are probabilistic weights, to 1.5. That's 1.5 times more. And then I wrote alt over here, another way to think of it. If all the non-Lords have a weight of 1, the Lord weight is 2/3 that, so it's 0.66. You can then just take that total weight by getting the sum of that, and then just go hero by hero, taking that specific hero's weight dividing it by 12.5 and getting your percentage. So I'm pretty sure this math is going to be correct. Obviously, I can't see the game file. I can only use history and power of inference and stuff like that. But I do believe we'll have an 8% chance to hit Ingrid, 8% chance to hit Praetus, and then 12% for the other 7 non-Lord heroes. Assuming most people are happy with Ingrid or Praetus, that's a 16% chance to hit him. That is so infinitely higher in terms of likelihood than otherwise you could get for this amount spent. So I know I got kind of deep in the weeds here with some of the stats and the math. It's not such complicated math, but in case I lost you, let's bring it back in and essentially say we got a 16% chance to hit Ingrid or Praetus. And then basically what I'd suggest you guys do if you're still on the fence about this, go through and figure out who you really don't want and just subtract that from 100. And then you'll know your chance to be happy or be satisfied. So Bakurju said he'd be totally happy with any hero except for Eunomia. Eunomia is the worst of the bunch, and he already has Eunomia. So basically, take your 100%, subtract the 12% chance to get Eunomia. We have an 88% chance he's going to spend $70 and be really happy about it. So again, this only applies to spenders, but if you're a spender comfortable spending $70 in a pack or $70 in a week or $70 in a month, this is probably the biggest bang for your buck ever. I think I've proven my point. I've procrastinated because I'm nervous. If I pull him to Eunomia, I'm going to cry. I was going to do this for Seamus earlier, and Seamus, I ran out of time, so Seamus did it himself and pulled Praetus. Hopefully we have similar luck now, and we get him something really special. This is what he's got. The unowned heroes, remember, are Jira, Pelagios, and Thalon, and we'd be happy with dupes and awakenings of everything else except for this lady over here. Let's try to get him in Ingrid. It's the season of the legs. Let's go for it. Let's see if it's worthwhile. Thank you, Bakurju, for lending your account. And we're off to the races. Click, click. Cinematic. We got her! So don't take this and think, oh, Fastidious told me to go buy it and I'm guaranteed Ingrid. But 16% of the time you're guaranteed the Lord and 8% of the time you're guaranteed Ingrid. We hit in a really, really big way. That's pretty cool. So to recap, this is only a thing for spenders. Don't spend above your means ever. But if you are someone with like a monthly budget that's somewhat significant in this game and you like to spend, and this is within your means, this is a crazy, crazy, crazy buy opportunity. So lots of math in this one, but hey, this is the last video I'm filming. This probably will come out on New Year's Day, but I'm filming this on New Year's Eve. This is the last video I'm filming in 2024, so I should stick to my brand. My brand is the numbers. Let me get myself out of the way so you can see them legs. Thank you guys for watching. I've been Fastidious. Subscribe to the channel, share it with your mother, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.
Fastidious.